So 154231, the Pinellas County Muni Code. I'm sure you're aware of it.
Well, that's ordinance, not a state statute, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So it's a right-of-way permit, subsection B.
Okay.
It specifically goes over parked on the right-of-way public land.
That's a civil infraction.
What's that?
That's a civil matter.
It's $218 fine.
It's a civil matter.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a civil matter.
It's a civil matter.
It is civil matter.
Yeah.
But they've also reg tagged your vehicle. So when it comes to
48 hours.
So they gave you, I believe they gave you 24-hour notice.
48 hours.
Okay.
What will be the purpose of messing with us?
So I would always messing with you.
That's subjective.
Okay. Well, again, it's not subjective because at the end of the day, we don't want to be here.
What's the purpose? What's the spirit of the law?
All right, because somebody called us.
But what's the purpose of it?
To abide by the laws and enforce them.
No, the ordinance is not law. Ordinance is not law.
And the ordinances.
The ordinance is civil.
Right?
Yeah, 316, 194.
3B2.
3B2.
All right, and then Pinellas County Ordinance 154-231,
And you
subsection
think
B.
that
To address the conversation we had, I had with Captain Harvey from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, he tried to say his deputies misread the ordinance. So the reason we got a 48-hour notice, and that's why they were saying 24-hour notices. But this is from Jargota. This is the same night at 5:30 in the morning. Was it 5? When he wrote it, it's 5:40 a.m. So this notice right here clearly identifies 316-194 3B2, which is what Captain Harvey referred to in the phone call. And it says clearly 48 hours. Very clearly. Now, he tried to say, well, they mistaken that they read the wrong one. The one he thought they read, or tried to say, attribute to them getting it wrong, was this one down here, which is parked for sale more than 24 hours on public property. I don't think any reasonable person believes that both Deputy Jargota and then 5 hours later, the lieutenant and the sergeant and the other deputies that show up, basically the entire command shows up, and all of them misunderstood what was going on. They read the wrong part of the notice. He checked the part of the notice that he wanted to address, and the one that the captain is trying to say was the mistaken was way down here, never checked. It doesn't make any sense. So you can see now the professional standards of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is we investigated ourselves and we found this way to spin it. My deputies they just made a mistake. They were thinking of this one right here when they were telling you that, 24 hours. Jargota himself told me 24 hours as well. But they actually meant this one right here, 48 hours. But you see where it's going to be a problem? Because if we had sat there and we hadn't moved, then, when they showed up 24 hours later, they would have seized the vehicle, in the trailer, our home. When we're on the road, that's our home. They would have probably locked me up because I would have defied them. And then my wife and my autistic daughter and my 15-year-old son would be on the side of the road in Pinellas County, with nowhere to go. And that is a shame that this miscommunication, which is obviously just a story that Captain Harvey is concocted to address why his incompetent deputies say shit that ain't true. So anyways, this is just the perfect piece of evidence to show you that they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew they were violating the rights. They just don't give a shit. So for shits and giggles, let's look over, even though I knew he was wrong. Here is 316.194, as Captain Harvey stated that he had an official violation of, the ordinance. His deputies were wrong, but there is an ordinance, is what he says. Now let's look at it. He said 3, right? B2. So you're going to look at 3A, 3B. Officers and traffic accident investigation officers may provide for the removal of any abandoned vehicle to the nearest garage or other place of safety. Cost of such removal will be a lien against the motor vehicle when an abandoned vehicle is found unattended upon a bridge or causeway or any tunnel or on any public highway in the following instances. That's what he quoted. So as you see, it has everything to do with abandoned vehicles to begin with, which our vehicle wasn't abandoned. Parked in certain places, none of which we were on, unless you want to call the Anklo Industrial a public highway. And I haven't looked at the definition in Florida of public highway. It could be called that. I don't believe it is, but let's say it's a public roadway and public highway are synonymous in the legislation here in this area. Regardless, it's not abandoned. Then, where such vehicle constitutes an obstruction of traffic, didn't do that. Where such vehicle has been parked or stored on a public right-of-way for a period of exceeding 48 hours in other than designated parking areas and is within 30 feet of the pavement edge. This is the one he quoted that we violated. Still, if you follow back up, it must have to do with it's all to do with abandoned vehicles. Has nothing to do with with what we were doing in any way, shape, or form. Our vehicles weren't abandoned. This Captain Harvey literally misquotes legislation, just like his lieutenant does, just like his deputy Jargota does, just like Lieutenant Jones does. They just lie. That's what they do. So that's what he quoted that we did wrong. And I just wanted to show you that we did nothing of the sort. Our vehicles weren't abandoned. So anything lower, like B2, which is what he quoted, would not apply to us because B applies only to abandoned vehicles. It doesn't apply to our situation. Again, he just lies and says what he wants to cover up for the misdeeds of his corrupt tyrant officers and deputies. That's what happens. Now let's look at the Pinellas County Ordinance 154-231 that he quoted, that Captain Harvey also misquoted. And this one has to do with construction equipment. It shall be unlawful for any person to construct, install, remove, relocate, or perform any other work activities for installations or place temporary structures or make improvements within, on, under, or above the right-of-way without first having obtained a right-of-way permit. Parking your vehicle in a right-of-way does not meet the elements of that in any way, shape, or form. And it doesn't restrict it or make it an ordinance that make it illegal to even do this. It says you have to require a permit to do that. But as you see everywhere, the police and deputies, and especially the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, they will lie. Flat out deceive, lie, gaslight you. You saw in the video, he told me to calm down, like I'm Adam Sandler in the anger management movie. Calm down, sir. Our country's going through some tough times right now. I mean, that's what they do, and they because it's them against us. That's how they look at things, and so they will lie, cheat, steal, kill, maim, murder, commit violence, deceit, deceive you, gaslight you, and that's how it goes. Now you've seen both ordinances, the ordinance from Pinellas County and the FSS that Captain Harvey so eloquently misquoted here for your own eyes.